Breaking Down the Law is sponsored by Battle Born Injury Lawyers.
Hey, we do it every Wednesday, and today we're talking with attorney Matt Hoffmann, our friend of the show. We're talking about marijuana testing and job hiring in Nevada. So there's a new law banning employers from refusing to hire employees who have tested positive for marijuana. This obviously, Matt, became an issue in light of the fact that marijuana has been legalized recreationally. So let's talk about how this state law measures up when it comes to federal law, because there are some exceptions.
Yes.
Right? Okay.
So marijuana is still illegal federally.
Of course.
But it is legal recreationally here in Nevada.
Right.
The bill took care of that. It specifically says that if at any time this would conflict with federal law
Right.
and any job requirements that require federal drug testing, it doesn't apply.
Okay.
So if you've got a job that requires federal drug testing and you're trying to apply for it,
Yeah.
you need to comply with what the rules are. You can't test positive for marijuana.
Like if you're a driver, if you're an EMT,
DOT,
if you're a firefighter.
exactly.
Yeah, okay. So obviously something that deals with safety and adversely, affecting someone's life. Okay, also I want to talk about this. There are other scenarios or situations where this applies, for instance, if you have to sign a contract or collective bargaining, for instance.
Sure. So it specifically says that if the job you're applying for is subject to a contract
Right.
that calls for, you have to pass a drug screening test,
Sure.
the law doesn't apply. So in Nevada, it's a lot of jobs.
Yeah.
And union jobs.
Even our jobs.
Yeah.
We sign contracts
The
too.
raters,
Yeah.
collective bargaining agreements, it applies to all those. The other part is that the bill only applies to new hires.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah. So what about existing employees?
It doesn't say anything. It doesn't say anything as to existing employees, so it really gives no protection if somebody uses recreational marijuana, which is legal, but their employer has a policy against it, you could still be fired. It's kind of like free speech. Free speech is, everyone thinks, well, I have the right to free speech. Well, you do.
Right.
But you can still be fired.
Sure, exactly.
And we see that all the time. Somebody does something on Twitter and it's outlandish and they get fired for it.
Very true.
So the same applies here.
So, in this case, it's not like it's making maybe any major sweeping changes, even though we are seeing some changes when it comes to new hires. But you say it's maybe more so symbolic or just giving employers more flexibility, right?
Yeah, the point of this is to start moving things in the direction to allow employers to loosen their standards for hiring. Yeah. A lot of employers need to get more employees. They're not able to. We have a tight job market, which is great. Yeah. And so this allows them to loosen that. But in the law, it says that if an employer thinks that the job could affect the safety of others, that it doesn't apply to them. Well, what job doesn't?
Well, very true. That's very vague language. That could be applicable to a wide range of jobs.
Exactly.
Right?
So, in the food industry, that affects safety of others.
Of course it does.
Somebody working in a warehouse, forklifts, anything. So it allows the employers to loosen their standards.
Okay.
I don't know if it's going to result in them doing so.
Got it. Well, because I know one of the first big properties that I saw, that was, moving in that direction before the law even went into effect, was Caesar's property, and some of the other casino properties were doing that. So, all right, well, now the rubber's hitting road. The governor signed this bill into law, and now you have a better idea of how it applies when it comes to state law, federal law, and some of those exceptions that we talk about. Matt, we appreciate you breaking down the law every Wednesday. That's how we do it. And also, many times we do Facebook Live afterwards, too, so we can keep the conversation going. All right, so next Wednesday, same time, same place.